And I'm going to get close for a second. Why? Why are you not planning your stories? It's almost as important, if not more important, to plan your stories than it is the feed posts. These are a really great opportunity for you guys to build trust with your community, get to know them a little bit better, get them to know you a little bit better. It's really, really important that you're showing up here consistently, as well as intentionally. So none of that, posting a photo of your Fitbit progress or like some random thing that you're doing with no context. Like, why? What is that serving? And if you are going to be showing a picture of your Fitbit, but like, please don't, because it's really weird. Tie it in to what you're doing. Write a little caption. When you start to connect the dots between what you're posting on the feed with what you're doing on stories, it becomes so much easier to plan out those 10 stories each and every day. All of your Instagram, everything, okay? You can make stories from it. You can make reels from it. You can connect your bio to it. You can have conversations in comments and DMs from your feed posts as well as other people's feed posts. You can go live from your feed posts, similar to what I'm doing now. You guys know that I want to talk about stories this week. So everything that I'm doing on Instagram this week, the lives, the stories, the posts, things in my bio that I'm going to be updating, this is all going to be connected to what's going on the feed with the overarching topic of Instagram stories. And this is like similar to what I do when I plan out my content. I'll literally write stories in the middle, and then I put all my little topics of like, okay, from stories, what are the pain points that people have with them? Oh, they don't have time. They don't know what to post half the time. They don't know how to integrate real life stuff and maybe show the Fitbit, but how to connect that to their actual content. Like, this is for those of you who are using Instagram to really build your business. You're getting clients from here. This is your primary platform. This is where you're creating your original piece of content for. You should really, really be on stories and posting at least 8 to 10 a day. And that is minimum. I told you with that client, we do 18 to 20 stories on her page every single day. And that's not even including like reposting other people's stuff. So that's like 18 to 20 pieces of original content for that particular client. But if you're getting started on stories, 8 to 10, and I'm going to show you just how easy it is. So let me get my other graphic here for you. So first and foremost, what I do, and this is, you can kind of see this one a little bit. This is an example of a Google Sheet that I have. You can't see the tabs at the bottom, but the tabs at the bottom, I basically have like my overview. I've got the actual, it's on my desktop here, content plan. And then I've got topic ideas as well as 3 different tabs for this particular content plan. Look, I know I can use like Later and Planoly for this, but there's certain features that those platforms don't have that my handy dandy spreadsheet does. So I just prefer to use my spreadsheet, and it's like easier for me to do that. And I don't create my content in Planoly or Later or anything like that. So I write out literally like, okay, each day of the week, what's kind of like my theme for stories that I want to do. So it's really hard to see on the screen, but on Mondays, it's usually more of an educational type of post. I'll also answer questions from Sunday. I do that throughout the week, but I always on Sundays have a questions box for you. And then I save all the questions and just kind of get to like, 1 to 2 a day as we go along. And then I usually will announce Tuesdays live if it's just me, what the topic is, and as well if I have a guest, which I will next week, who the guest is, do a little bit of intro and stuff on them there. And then from there, I also will look at like my content for the day. So I go into my actual content plan, which looks a little bit like this. So you can kind of see there's topic, there's then the category feed, stories. I also got a category for live, IGTV, TikTok, But I'm just going to show you for feed and stories. So I put the general topic, and the topic on the first one was a carousel, and it was about connecting with your community. And so I posted about that on my feed as well. Then in the stories, I basically just went down the line, numbers 1 through 10. Here are my stories for the day. Sorry, it's really hard to see, but I'll post this to my stories after. I did take a nice screenshot for you. This is exactly what I did last week when I came back after a 2-week break. And I just type out, okay, story number 1, I'm literally going to say good morning to you. Story number 2, I'm going to say that I missed you guys and I saw that you were busy. And that's like my segue then to go into sharing some of the stuff that you guys were posting in those 2 weeks that I was completely off. Okay. Because on that Sunday before my Monday return, I went and I was like looking through some of my community's posts to see what I missed. And I noticed like a lot of really cool stuff that happened. So like Carlina was awarded a few things as well. She was speaking at a couple of events and is going to be hosting some events of her own. So I called her out in my stories because I was like, holy crap, like you guys really were busy. And then I also mentioned Allie, my coordinator, poked fun back at her because I did watch the stories when she did the takeover and saw some of the things that she said, which is fine. But I had to get her back a little bit. So I was using content that I either already had or that had happened in the past, as well as starting to integrate some community members' content. And then I start to get into what I was going to post and how I was going to repost. So I just continually break it up. Because you probably notice in, not all stories, but in a lot of stories, when there's too much on a page, like, could you imagine I just posted this on a page and like zoomed in and freaky, and then I had all this like text on top and like 5 GIFs, a call to action somewhere. It's very busy, and like people don't consume content like that. It's still very much in the digital space, left to right, down. That's just what it is. So when you're setting up your stories, less is so much more, and think, how can I make this super, super easy for people to consume? I don't have to put all of the information on one single story. I can make like 5 stories from this one sentence that I wrote, and think left to right and then down. That's like naturally how people's eyes are going to fall. Okay. That's just a little design hack there for you from a non-designer, but from a user of social media. And these are just things that I notice when I consume social media, and even when, I'm online on websites. Okay, here's an example, my latest post on Instagram, right? First time that I repost my feed post to my stories, I actually do just say, new post. That's number 1. I'm not done. The second time around, oh my God, I am a psycho. The second time around, I put new post, those words. Okay, let's get rid of this image. You guys know what I'm talking about now, because I want you to see the whiteboard. I put new post, plus I usually do a poll to get you guys engaged. So I'd be like, do you guys feel the same way? Like something super, super simple. Okay. And then the third time that I go and repost that to my story, I do new post plus a call to action to comment. Okay? Holy shit, I'm bad writing. So I literally am just sharing that 3 times in a row. And I've tested this, okay? Because before, when I was just sharing the new post 1 time, it often got ignored because it was like, it came out of nowhere in my stories. And then I would like straight up just like move on to the next thing. And it was disruptive to the story experience. So I'm like, no, not this time. I'm going to try reposting it 3 times because people probably won't even notice the 1 time that I post it because we're just like so used to seeing that new post. I want this to stand out and I want them to take action. And I know that people don't typically take action on that first questions box that I put up or on that first poll that I put up, depending on, you know, what the question is. So I know that I need to entice them maybe a little bit further in this 3 repost journey. Okay. So I came up with this method and we have been testing it now. And the increase, I need to do the math for you guys, but the increase in poll and comment conversion is so much higher since doing the 3 new post, repost. Like I'm posting 2 times a day until like the second last week of December. So lots and lots of content to come, but your girl can only work so fast. But let's do the example of Pollyana now. So I want to talk a little bit about more of like a product based business because the stories are obviously a little bit different. Whereas like in service based, there's a lot of opportunity to, you know, add extra tips and those like a little bit more context and that further education and all of that kind of stuff. Whereas service or product based business, I feel like it's more so telling the story, the ingredients, the materials of the product itself. So I'm just writing it out on my notepad here. And these ideas too, by the way, you can use on a service-based business as well. There's just a few more. Okay. 9, 10. I'm just writing it out. All right. I still like to start my day with a hello and a good morning. So these 2, the first and the last story, never really change. And you think, oh my God, people don't care. They don't want me to say hello and close off every single day. But you'd be surprised how much people actually miss in the stories. But then you create kind of like a relationship and a bond. And this just becomes a part of your brand. Even the way that you say hello. And Lewis Dalton _ copywriter does this very well. The way he says hello in his lives and anytime he starts a story, he sings it and he's like, hello. And like, I always look forward to it anytime I'm watching his first story of the day or anytime he hops on a live. It's just a part of his brand now. So those really, really simple things can go a long way and actually further develop relationships. Okay, let's get back to, we're talking about Graze Atlanta's page now. I didn't take screenshots of her page because I thought I was going to talk about capsule creators, but she's not here. So I'm going to choose one of you that are here, which is Pollyana of Graze Atlanta. And she makes cheese boards, grazing boxes, these beautiful, beautiful pieces of art, really, that you can eat. So naturally, people love photos of food, and her page does really, really well because everything that she's making is fantastic. But we're going to talk about ways that she can really make her stories now stand out. So always start with the hello and good morning, and we close out for the day as story number 10. Now, for Pollyana and those of you who have physical product, best way to showcase this, I swear, is behind the scenes. So I want to see the world of a creator like that, making a physical product, because I personally find it fascinating to watch. I'll watch it in time lapse. I'll watch it in slow motion. If there's sound effects, even better. I will consume this type of content like crazy. It is my favorite. It is so bingey and so beautiful. So I want to see Pollyana's day. What does she do? What goes into creating these beautiful cheese boards of her? So Pollyana, you're going to take us through your day. You're going to show us a day in the life, what you do from choosing the ingredients to the actual stylings of the board itself. So we're going to start off by day in the life. And this is kind of the theme for her stories for the day. She's going to have more than 10. We know that this is going to happen, but she's going to pop on and she's going to say, "Hey, grazers." That's not what she calls them. But she's going to go, "Hey, grazers, I want to take you through my process today. And I want to show you, because I'm going to the market, how I choose the ingredients for my custom, luxurious cheese boards that I create, that I hand create in my kitchen, in my apartment in downtown Atlanta." Like, the girl is working, okay? So she's going to show her face and she's going to use her voice. Okay? She's going to show up as her and she's going to say that as story number 1. Another little thing that I love to do for day in the life, or anything that's kind of like a part of a series, I'll draw this for you. On the actual story itself, and pretend this is the story, I always like to put text or copy. Text or copy that say the words day in the life. So personally, I put them on the right-hand side of my story. So I'll actually write out day in the life, and I put that on every single one of my stories for that day. So you guys know that you're watching a series. Just always providing that extra little bit of context into what you've already posted onto your feed, or questions that people have already asked you. So it's like less of you spinning your wheels thinking, "Oh my God, I never know what to post to my stories." The answers are actually right in front of you. They're on your feed post. They're in the caption that you've already written. Break up that caption into your stories. You think, "Well, I already posted this to my feed." Not everybody sees your feed posts, at least not on the first day. Instagram only distributes your content to about 10% of your following within the first day. So think about that a little bit, okay?